So, this is a major factor. At ito po, ang hatid nito, syempre, higher.
So, hi everyone. Thank you very much for attending our webinar today, and we are truly proud to bring these kinds of exclusive events to you. First, of course, I would like to start my presentation by sharing with you the main commitment of Rampver Financials, and that is to provide service to you by making sure that we'll be able to provide you, or you will be able to achieve your financial goals for yourself and your family. And that being said, if you're familiar with Rampver Financials already, you know that our banner products and services are more into investments. However, you know, while that is true, Rampver Financials is, of course, a firm believer of financial planning. And of course, a financial plan serves as your blueprint or your master plan to ensure that your goals will be met through a systematic approach. And of course, it may also serve as your reminder in case you forget why or how do you make your financial decisions based on your objectives. Now, with that, I'd like to share with you the financial planning pyramid. And with that, kasi, in creating a solid financial plan, there are different things that we need to address. So, of course, number one, the base would always be risk management. So, risk management focuses on how you can be protected from unfortunate events, such as different emergencies. And of course, the next level would always be wealth accumulation. Wealth accumulation focuses on growing your money to ultimately achieve your desires or your financial goals. And last but not the least, focuses on the preservation of assets to ensure that you have enough funds during your final years. And of course, if you want to transfer your accumulated wealth to the next generation, then that would be wealth preservation. But as mentioned, following the pyramid ensures a stable and effective portfolio to your financial goals. And again, while Rampver Financials, um, the banner product of Rampver Financials is investment, we'd like to highlight the importance of going back to basics by starting with risk management. And there are so many risks out there. But for this session, we will be focusing on one of the most damaging risks that a person may encounter, and that is high medical expenses. And of course, it remains to be one of the major reasons why a person or why it would ruin your financial journey. As they say, if you're one illness away from bankruptcy, then you really have a problem. Even if you save up for emergencies and invest for your goals, but you neglect to equip the right risk management tools, your efforts may result to waste. Now, with that, I'd like to share with you the situation here in the Philippines on how we are spending for healthcare. As you can see on the leftmost side of the slide, you can see that the top two illnesses or diseases where we spend our money here in the Philippines would be number one, non-communicable diseases, and then that includes heart problems or lung problems and even diabetes. And then number two would be infectious and parasitic diseases. As you can see, the top two reasons, we are actually vulnerable, especially during this time of pandemic. We know we can be infected. As you can see, especially for COVID alone, the expenses can go as high as 500,000 up to 7 million or more, depending on the hospital and depending on the condition. Also with non-communicable diseases, especially if you don't really take care of yourself, and especially if you get old, sooner or later, you will be spending for those illnesses as well. Now, let me I'll be asking you to go to the rightmost part of the slide, which is the income group. As you can see, in terms of the top two spenders, okay, these are the people who earns really well. Like these are the top tier in terms of income stream. And as you can see, these are the people who can really spend for medical expenses. They don't really think twice, no, if they want to have themselves checked, if they want to go to the hospital, they want to do some procedures, and that is actually part of prevention or aggravating the diseases or the conditions that they have. However, for the top three spenders, as you can see also, these are the people who doesn't really earn that much. Like as you can see, the average earning is 46,000 and below. Kumbaga, ito po yung tinatawag nating nasa laylayan, ika nga. If these are the people, I mean, these people go to the hospital during the times na talagang they really have to. It's either it's an emergency or the conditions are actually worsening. But the thing is, even if they spend that much, okay, imagine, ilan ba dyan yung out-of-pocket expenses? I mean, that's the biggest question. Now, another slide is for year 2020, quick facts about year 2020 in terms of healthcare. Last 2020, there's a 7% chance that one of the family members will get sick or they will get ill or they will be injured. Okay? While the chances are quite small, still, if something happens, you don't know how much you will be spending. Again, depending on the kind of illnesses that the person will be contracting. Now, the average spending last year, 2020, it's around 8,216 only, while you would say that it's slow. However, if there would be confinement, that would be a different story. Confinement goes within around 20,000 to 50,000 or even half a million, again, depending on the situation. But the question is, if something happens to you and or your family member, will you be able to fund it? As mentioned here in this slide, one of the major sources of funds to fund medical expenses, okay, still out of pocket. So it remains high. And as you can see, people are relying on the government schemes like PhilHealth and of course out of pocket. And minsan yung out of pocket na yan, they really have to borrow from their relatives. And very eyesore, if you can see, for voluntary healthcare payment schemes, it's only just 9.6%. So there can be two reasons why they're not utilizing this. Number one, they think na it can be really expensive, or number two, they don't know their options. That's why for today, we would like to give you your options. We would like to educate you with the different options in the market. And second, on how you can have a more cost-efficient or cost-effective portfolio that provides higher benefits. Now, as mentioned, addressing these kinds of risks, yung mga healthcare risks natin, is an important concern that we need to address. And on top of making sure that you earn from your investments, it's also important for us that we teach you how to protect your hard-earned money and give you peace of mind. Now, in Rampver Financials, we don't believe that there's a one-size-fits-all product to solve all your problems or your risks, healthcare risks. And as you can see, we believe in combining multiple products so that it can better safeguard your portfolio, your family, and yourself from different risks that you may face. And in this pyramid, as you can see, HMO would always comes first, followed by medical insurance and critical illness. Now, to give a better explanation why, okay, in terms of healthcare, you would be needing you would be encountering different needs like basic healthcare prevention, like checkups, laboratory, and if you get sick, you get confined, the most appropriate product would always be HMO. That would be your first line of defense. However, if you contracted a more complicated illness and you need to be confined for a longer time, and for example, you contracted critical illness, you become terminally ill, HMO would not be enough for those cases. That's why the medical insurance can actually help you fund for those needs, which is later our partners will be discussing. And the critical illness through our life insurance plans can be there during number one, critical illness also, as mentioned during earlier, and also with the benefits. If the person gets terminally ill, they will provide a lump sum benefit, at least to provide a quality of life, the remaining days na lang of that person. And of course, in terms of death, the life insurance can provide the benefit. And as you can see, these products have their own strengths and of course weaknesses. And again, they need one another to provide optimal solution for your healthcare needs. That's why we have actually handpicked products to provide maximum output and benefits in creating your healthcare portfolio. However, for this session, we will be focusing on the first two kinds of protection, which is HMO and medical insurance, and our partners. Later on, they will be discussing these options thoroughly that hopefully you would appreciate, the benefits that they can provide. But nonetheless, the discussion would hover around these topics. I'll be back later to give you samples on how you can apply this in your personal situations. And of course, during the Q&A, I'll be there also. So for now, enjoy the session and hear from our experts, from our providers. Thank you so much.
Okay, so thank you, Jason, for that introduction of what our... At this point, I'm sure that everyone is excited to learn from our lineup of speakers today. Our first topic will be about the different types of HMO plans available. So now, our first speaker from PhilCare is here to discuss the prepaid and individual HMO plans that you can consider getting for yourself and your loved ones. Today, we have Mr. Mike Etchon, Manager for Individual Plans, Partnerships, and Emerging Partners or Markets for PhilCare. Mike is a registered medical technologist, and he has more than a decade of professional experience working for several organizations such as Centro Escolar University, School of Medical Technology, Lorma Medical Center, and finally with PhilCare. With his strong leadership, his team was able to establish a strong business relationship with clients and partners, thus increasing PhilCare's client portfolio and exceeding their sales targets. Without further ado, let us all welcome Mike.
Thank you, Sean and Jason. Again, good afternoon, everyone. And again, welcome to this afternoon's webinar on creating an ideal healthcare portfolio, brought to you by PhilCare, Pacific Cross, and Rampver Financial. So again, I am Mike Etchon from PhilCare, and I will be presenting our prepaid plans and individual plans. But first, I would like to introduce who PhilCare is. We have been in the HMO industry for over 40 years. We are the first HMO to be recognized by the BIR as tax compliant since 1982, and we are one of the first HMO to be issued license with Insurance Commission last 2016. We are also ISO 9001:2015 certified and recipients of local and international awards in recognition of our efforts in promoting better access to health through the use of effective communication practices and use of technology. We are PhilCare, and we promote smart healthcare. For our products and services, we offer corporate plans for SMEs or small and medium enterprises. We also have our prepaid health plan and our individual plan. The only thing good about PhilCare that I can say is that we are on call 24/7, and we engage with our customers 24/7. If they have problems, they can call us. We have our account management. We have 24/7 customer care, and we also have our COVID hotline for our exclusive for our clients. And the following are our health and wellness partners, wherein all our members will be given preferential discounts if they avail the services of these health and wellness partners. The question now is, why PhilCare? And at PhilCare, our answer is, why not? Because we are the only HMO that offers technology-enabled customer experience through our various innovations and use of available technology. So I would like to share to you a short video. Sean, may I ask if you can hear the audio of our video?
Sorry, Mike, I think your audio is not working.
Okay.
Can you try it again?
All right.
Sorry, Mike, there's still no audio.
Yeah. We're fixing the audio now. So while my partner here is fixing the audio of the video, I'd like to inform you that innovation, continuous improvement, and customer engagement is our thrust here in PhilCare. Hi, Sean. How about now?
Joey enjoys better service because he is a member of PhilCare.
You can hear the audio. Maybe you could reset.
Meet Joey. Joey is one of the many Filipinos subscribed to a healthcare plan. He feels secure because he knows that his medical needs are taken care of if ever the need arises. But the difference is, Joey enjoys better service because he is a member of PhilCare. 1. Through the HeyPhil app, Joey can search for the nearest hospital or clinic, find a doctor, inquire about his healthcare benefits, and instantly produce his own LOA. And while using the HeyPhil app, Joey can access
I'm sorry, I think the video was cut off. We'll fix it now.
Meet Joey. Joey is one of the many Filipinos subscribed to a healthcare plan. He feels secure because he knows that his medical needs are taken care of if ever the need arises. But the difference is, Joey enjoys better service because he is a member of PhilCare. 1. Through the HeyPhil app, Joey can search for the nearest hospital or clinic, find a doctor, inquire about his healthcare benefits, and instantly produce his own LOA. And while using the HeyPhil app, Joey can access various wellness freebies. When he needs medical care, he conveniently finds a doctor from a directory using his mobile phone through HeyPhil, a voice-activated AI by PhilCare. By using HeyPhil, Joey no longer needs to wait in line and go through the tedious process of securing an LOA. Aside from HeyPhil, Joey can choose from other convenient options to secure an LOA form. 2. Using PhilCare Easy, he can easily generate and print his LOA online by accessing the PhilCare member portal. Joey can also update his account. If Joey is unable to access HeyPhil or PhilCare Easy, he can go straight to the hospital or clinic using his PhilCare Snap card and enjoy fast and paperless transaction. With just a tap, the LOA issuer can instantly generate an approval using the NFC. 4. It is also easier for providers to issue LOA even without data connection. Through PhilCare Free Text, providers can get the approval code and check member eligibility even through text. You see, healthcare shouldn't be too difficult to attain. PhilCare makes it fast and easy, so you have more time for the things you enjoy. That's PhilCare's technology-enabled customer experience. Healthcare made smarter.
All right, thank you. So that's Healthcare Made Smarter by our HeyPhil app. And alam niyo po ba that during the pandemic, napakadami po naming members who cannot go to the hospital. Therefore, hindi po sila makapagpa-consult. Kasi nga po, takot sila. But using our HeyPhil, pwede po silang magpa-consult via our teleconsult. Okay? And most recently, we also launched our HeyPhil Quick Assist kiosk. Dito naman po, ang gagawin ng mga members natin, ang gagawin na lang po nila is pupunta na lang sa aming kiosk and by using their card, NFC, and other data, all they have to do is to enter their data or tap their NFC card, ma-generate na yung kanilang LOA or letter of authorization. And just to share with you the video, that's it. So yan po yung kaibahan namin sa ibang HMO siguro, we involve technology. Hindi namin pahihirapan yung aming mga members for them to be able to access a better health, access to better health. So what's our common goal for our family? Protection from sickness, accident, and death. Okay? So mamaya, I'll be discussing what an emergency is. Ano yung sinasabi ni Sir Sayan kanina na we have to be prepared in any emergency. Yan. Pero wag po kayo mag-alala because PhilCare has got you covered. We have this what we call STAR service. Sustainable, tech-enabled, affordable and accessible, and reliable healthcare coverage. Pag sinabi natin sustainable, hindi po ito po ay hindi masyadong mahal. Pag sinabi natin tech-enabled, just by the tap of your phone or just by using your smartphone, you should be able to have a consult to your doctor, may makakausap ng psychologist or psychiatrist. Affordable and accessible, madaling gamitin, madaling hanapin, madaling bilhin, reliable healthcare. It should demand, and all the accredited doctors dapat po magagaling. That's our STAR service. As the industry pioneer, we believe that healthcare should not be that expensive. Sabi ko kanina, it should be affordable and accessible. Healthcare should be accessible to all Filipinos and also affordable. And for this reason, that in 2010, we are the first HMO to launch our prepaid healthcare product. And napakadami po naming prepaid products. Okay? We have the medical checkup plans, wherein you have annual consult, ER Shield, protection from emergencies. We also have our prepaid card for our mental well-being, that is our Mind Care. We also have health and combo plans, the ER Health Assist and Indigo, and specialized health plans like Dengue Assist and Vida Care. For close 299 pesos, dapat po magkakaroon ng access lahat ng Filipinos to a better healthcare. Do you know that during emergencies, the average cost of emergency treatment from a minor accident alone is at around 10 to 15,000 pesos? So for an average Filipino, if you don't have the 10 to 15,000 pesos at hindi ka po nagamot sa ER, the potential losses ay napakalaki po. Hindi lang yung average daily wage mo, kundi kasama na din po dyan yung projected loss of income. Okay? But don't worry. PhilCare is here and we've got you covered by simply purchasing one of our ER prepaid plans. Pero isipin natin, ano ba yung emergency? What is an emergency? Emergency, these are the sudden, hindi inaasahan, unexpected, pwedeng mangyari kahit anumang oras, na pwedeng potential of causing immediate, na pwedeng ikamatay or pagkabaldado ng isang tao po. So those are emergency cases. Again, sabi ko nga, if you don't have that enough money in the bank or in your pocket, what will happen in emergency cases? Or if we encounter emergency or one of our family members? Napakahirap po. That is why PhilCare is offering this wide array of emergency plans. Napakamura po. We have the ER Shield, ER Vantage that covers up to 40,000 to 80,000, and also our Health Vantage, same coverage, 40 to 80,000. We also have for kids and adult plans. Ano yung kasama? What are the benefits included for ER Shield and ER Vantage? Of course, number one, emergency care treatment for outpatient cases. Because we have two types of emergencies. We have emergency outpatient and emergency leading to confinement. So for these plans, kaya po ang topic natin is portfolio. Ibig sabihin, you can purchase one of this, and one of that, and one of this. Okay? Kaya isipin po natin maigi, ano ba yung need ng family ko? What are my needs? And our ER Shield, ER Vantage also has coverage on group life and AD&D as riders. Okay? And these three variants is accessible to more than 500 hospitals nationwide. It could be single or multiple use options. And napakadali po, it should be accessible. I have said a while ago that healthcare should be accessible. Therefore, our prepaid plans, our prepaid emergency plan, you may purchase it via online. Okay? And the activation period is just 7 days, or the waiting period is just 7 days. And price starts at only 800 pesos. Napakamura po. With this coverage of 50 or 40,000, and you only pay 800 pesos, and you are not protected from emergency cases. So these are the difference of our ER Shield, ER Vantage, and Health Vantage. For the price range, our cheapest is the ER Shield. Coverage is 50,000. We also have our ER Vantage and Health Vantage. Okay. So what are the difference? So for the coverage limit for ER Shield is up to 50,000. No room and board kasi outpatient lang po yung ating ER Shield. For ER Vantage and Health Vantage, ito po yung second type of emergency, which I call emergency leading to confinement. Yan. ER Vantage and Health Vantage. The maximum limit ranges from 40,000 to 80,000, and the room and board rate is from ward to regular private. All right. For our 3 emergency plan variants, these are also tech-enabled process, web-based and SMS notification. All right. We also believe that access to better health should be equitable. Ibig sabihin, hindi tayo namimili, and should be non-discriminatory. That is why we also have plans for our senior citizens, because most HMOs, their age eligibility is only up to 60 or 65 years old. But here at PhilCare, we have plans. We call it the VitaCare and VitaCare Premier for our senior citizens, 60 years old and above, meaning to say there's no limit. Okay, and what are the benefits? Digital or face-to-face consultations nationwide. All right. Unlimited medical and dental checkups, plus limited lab tests and emergency care coverage for ages 60 plus and above. And this is as cheap as $927 per month for credit card settlement. And the VitaCare Premier covers pre-existing conditions. Alam naman po natin that our senior citizen family members already have pre-existing conditions. Ano ba yung pre-existing conditions? Ito yung mga sakit na meron na sa kanila bago pa po sila magkaroon ng HMO or health card. And our VitaCare Premier covers pre-existing conditions for outpatient cases. And same, the activation period is only 7 days. During the pandemic, statistics have shown us po na tumaas yung kaso ng suicide and suicidal tendencies among our youth here in the Philippines and also abroad. Okay? Mental well-being na considered a taboo or pinandidirian in the past years is now being talked about in our society. And PhilCare listens to our people. Okay? Nakikinig po kami sa need ng ating society. Kaya naman, we've launched our MindCare Prepaid Plans. Because again, the PhilCare, naniniwala po kami that all Filipinos should not only be healthy in body, but should also be healthy in mind. Kaya po, nilaunch namin ang aming MindCare Plus, MindCare Pro, and our MindCare Basic. Okay? Online registration and consultation. Ito po, online po lahat. The consult, registration, online. So, our members who will purchase our MindCare Pro and MindCare Plus will have to consult or talk to one of our shrink or psychologists online po. So, andun po yung privacy, hindi po maririnig ng iba, hindi makikitang papasok sa isang clinic. This is for single use, available for 18 years old and above, and some are 2-in-1 products, MindCare, MindCare Pro, and this includes screening tools. And same-day activation po ito. Unlike the ER variant, this one is same-day activation period. We also have MindCare counselors and coaches. Okay. Uncoverable cases here are general anxiety, depression, na sobrang tumaas po yung cases ng ating depression as per statistics during and after the pandemic because of may mga nawalan po ng trabaho, they just stay at home for stress, addictions, anger management issues. So these are all coverable cases. Na alam naman po natin that in a regular HMO, these cases or anything that is related to mental illness or disease is not coverable. But PhilCare, we are the first. We break barriers in order to promote accessible healthcare and equitable healthcare to all Filipinos. So kami po yung unang nag-cover ng mental illness. Okay? These are all, hindi natin naririnig to dati sa mga HMOs. Naririnig natin yung mental well-being or mental illnesses as not covered. Pero sa PhilCare, maririnig natin ito as covered cases via our MindCare and MindCare Pro and others. mind care products that we offer. So for our mind care class, covered po dito yung mental and behavioral disorders due to psychoactive substance. Example, alcohol, opioids, drug addiction, schizophrenia. Nababasa lang po natin yan dati sa mga HMOs as general exclusion. But in PhilCare, we are the first to cover schizophrenia. Okay? Mood or affective disorders. These are all non-coverable kasi sabihin ng HMO dyan, naku, ano po yan mental illness, kaya hindi po covered yan. But in PhilCare, again, sabi ko sa inyo, we are the first and we break barriers. Now, we also have our comprehensive plans or our individual plans. Okay? If you have a limited, very limited budget, ang emergency lang talaga po, yung kaya natin na bilhin, we have our prepaid plans. Okay. Kapag malaki naman po yung ating budget, that's why we call this webinar portfolio. Pwede kayong bumili nitong individual plans, okay? Kasi there are cases sa individual plans na hindi po covered. Ayan. Ngayon, pag hindi covered dito, bili ka dun sa ating prepaid plan. Okay. In PhilCare, we have 3 plan variants. We have the Health 360, Health Pro, and Health Lab. These are all comprehensive compared to our prepaid plans. Ano ba yung pagkakaiba, Mike, ng prepaid and comprehensive plans or your individual plans? Pag sinabi natin prepaid, it's either nakafocus lang sa isang type of service, yung bibilhin mo, for example, emergency care, emergency outpatient, or emergency inpatient lang yung i-cover niya, compared to individual plans that it covers emergency, outpatient benefit, kasama dito yung consultation, that is generally not covered in our ER plan, and kasama din po dito yung confinement due to emergency case and due to elective case confinement. Yun po yung pagkakaiba ng comprehensive and prepaid plans. Alright, moving on. Individual plans or comprehensive plans offer a higher annual benefit limit or maximum benefit limit. Mas mataas po siya. So with our 3 plan variants, with the Health 360, this is our startup health plan. It covers outpatient, scheduled, and elective confinement. But pre-existing is not covered using our Health 360 plan. Okay. But our Health 360 plan is much cheaper compared to the 2 variants that I'll be presenting later. Why? Because the outpatient here is limited to predetermined outpatient clinics. Mas konti yung access mo for outpatient, kaya po siya mas mura. But is there a benefit? Pag limited lang yung clinic na i-access mo? Yes, there is. Since we limit the access to our MedHub clinics, you will maximize your MBL or maximum benefit limit because our clinics charge us much lower compared to our accredited clinic. Ganun po siya. Okay? Now, moving on, our Health Pro or Expanded Clinic Access Plan. For our Health Pro, ganun pa rin po. Limited yung outpatient access mo. Sa Health Pro nga lang, mas marami. Kasama na po dito yung mall clinics. Okay? But then again, still pre-existing is not covered. On the first year. On the second year, after the contestability period, we may now cover the pre-existing or it will now be waived. Okay. And our next plan is our Health Lab. This is our most comprehensive plan. It is a hospital-based plan, meaning to say, you may now access outpatient benefits or consultation to any affiliated provider. Pwedeng sa MedHub clinics namin, pwedeng sa affiliated mall clinics, or pwede sa hospital. And we cover pre-existing up to 10,000 annual limit for all pre-existing declared on the first year. Now, ano ba yung pre-existing? Why is it not covered in some of your prepaid plans and on your Health 360 plans? Simple lang po, pre-existing, ito yung mga sakit na meron na po tayo bago pa tayo magkaroon ng health card. But the next question there is, how are pre-existing conditions determined? Paano na ninyo malalaman, sir, na pre-existing yung sakit ko? Madali lang po. Sa application, it could be declared there or via our record. If you're a former member of PhilCare, we have a record of your utilization. And now, the next question then is, ngayon, may pre-existing ako, sir, I have asthma. Can I be denied of an health insurance or HMO? The answer is no. Even if you have pre-existing condition, you will still be able to purchase an HMO or health insurance. Okay? Kasi po, ang dami pa ring benefit even if we exclude, kahit po hindi namin i-cover kapag Health 360 or Health Pro ang binili ninyo, yung sakit ninyo na asthma, these are still the benefits that you may still avail from us. Number 1, All our individual plans have rider of life insurance and AD&D. Number 3, diagnostic tests are discounted at our MedHub clinic. Ibig sabihin, hindi man covered yung asthma. Okay? Yung test mo naman, kapag waive na yung pre-existing mo, laboratory test mo, ay pwedeng discounted. Ayan. And number 4, hospitalization due to accidents will be covered. Okay? Number 5, viral infection. Did you know that in the past 2 years, the number one cause or leading cause of hospitalization and morbidity in our country and all over the world is viral infection? Ano po yung viral infection kaya na yan? That is due to COVID virus or COVID infection. Okay. And do you cover, sir, COVID? Yes, we do cover. Hindi ba siya pre-existing? No, it's not. How about bacterial infection? Do you cover? Yes. What are the examples? Pneumonia. Is it not pre-existing? No, it's not pre-existing. Isipin lang po natin, kapag ito bacterial, viral infection, or ordinary illnesses, ito yung pwede nating ma-acquire or makuha or pwede tayong mahawa at any time. Remember po, hypertension, diabetes, these are lifestyle diseases. That is why they are considered pre-existing. Hindi mo siya makukuha in 2 months, 1 week, hindi po. But COVID, bacterial, parasitic infections, these are just all ordinary illnesses that anyone or anybody may acquire any time of the day, any day of the week. And it will all be covered even if you have pre-existing condition. Even if we exclude one of your illness or one of your illnesses as pre-existing condition. Marami pong benefit na makukuha. Kaya po, huwag po sana natin isipin na, ay, hindi naman kino-cover yung pre-existing, bakit pa ako bibili? Isipin po natin, bibili ako kasi ito yung pwedeng i-cover ni PhilCare kapag ako ay nagkasakit. Okay? Let's move on. Again, na-discuss ko kanina yung average hospitalization cost of vehicular accident is 10,000. Hindi pa po kasama dyan yung loss of income. And these are all covered for our individual plan. And our individual plans start as low as 2,201 per quarter. Napakamura po yan. 2,201 per quarter. Now, tanong niyo naman siguro, Mike, how to avail? Ano yung mga requirements? Okay, these are just the requirements, but we only require medical exam for our applicants 50 years old and above. Okay, for the medical exam, who will pay? Will it be covered? No, it's not covered, but we will reimburse the cost of the medical exam once your application is accepted. Ano ba yung kaibahan ng individual plans ni PhilCare sa ibang HMO? Alright. Sa PhilCare po, sabi ko kanina, nung present ko yung prepaid natin na MindCare and MindCare Plus, MindCare Pro, sabi ko kanina doon, sa ibang HMO, they consider mental illnesses as exclusion. Okay, sa inyo ba sir, kino-cover ninyo yung individual plans? Ngayon po, yes, we can cover, we may cover, subject to exclusion of some items or some illnesses. Ayan. For example, we have an applicant with ADHD. Okay, so it's not covered. Attention to ADHD. Kinover nyo ba? Yes. Did you cover the ADHD mismo? No, sa individual plan. Pero, kinover namin yung hospitalization due to bacterial, viral, and accident. So, protected pa rin po yung applicant or yung member namin na yon. But in some HMOs, automatically, they deny or they decline. Kami po, iniisip din po namin yung mga members and yung mga applicants namin. Ano ba yung maitutulong namin sa kanila? Okay. I'll just be playing a video. Alright, access to video consultation. We have what we call, kanina po, I discussed our HeyFeel. Ito po yung teleconsultation. Just by using your phone, if you're a PhilCare member, all you have to do is download HeyFeel. Pag dinownload niyo po yung HeyFeel, pwede kayong mag-schedule doon ng tinatawag nating teleconsultation. Now, what's the difference of a teleconsultation and a video consultation? Sa video consultation po, using our member portal or member gateway, which is available only exclusively to PhilCare members, they may now able to, number one, have their consultation face-to-face using their laptop Pwede na po yung face-to-face using laptop. Ibig sabihin po, video consultation, just like what we're doing now. Pwede mong ipakita yung bukol, kung saang area siya, or the type of allergy, makikita po ng doctor. So that's our video consultation. Exclusive lang po yan sa mga PhilCare members. And sabi ko nga, we've launched our teleconsultation last 2018. Na-predict po namin, napakagaling po, na-predict namin that teleconsultation and video consultation will become in, and nagamit po. All our members have benefited during the pandemic sa aming teleconsultation and video consultation. Eto, sabi ni Bea, bakit parang kasalanan ko na nakalimutan ko yung due date ko? Ayan. So hindi po mangyayari sa inyo yan sa mga PhilCare members. Because we've recently launched our SMS notification for clients. Just like, for example, if we have credit card, we are being reminded via text, di ba? Ngayon naman, with PhilCare, we remind our members via our SMS notification client. So, kapag malapit na po yung due date, makaka-receive po yung ating client ng ganito. Thank you for choosing PhilCare, yung mga tipong ganun po. We would like to remind you, as you may have remissed in your day-to-day busy schedule, we would like to remind you that your due date is on, ganun po siya. Okay. We would like to remind you that your policy is due for renewal on. Yan. And coming soon is our Easy Fill, or our online application form. So we have 3 types of filling out our form. We have the manual fill out, we have the soft copy application form. Yung manual fill out is a thing of the past. Ito po yung sinusulatan pa natin yung maliliit na boxes. And we're planning to go away with that. It's a thing of the past. Because we now have the soft copy application form, pwede yung i-email lang po sa amin, and then we will underwrite your application. And now, coming soon this June, before the month ends, is our Easy Fill, or our online application form, electronic application system by PhilCare. So for the customer journey, once you decide to buy one of our individual plans, all you have to do is to submit enrollment requirements, and within 2 to 5 business days, we'll inform you if your application is approved or has been approved. But when we launch our Easy Fill when we launch our online application system, right there and then, your application will be underwritten. Ibig sabihin po, hindi na aabot ng 2 to 5 business days. Mas mabilis po yung online application namin. Because from step 1 up to payment, ganun po yung online application system namin. Okay? And I think that's it for my presentation this afternoon. Again, I would like to thank everyone. Thank you, Rampver Financials, and also Pacific Cross. And I would like to apologize for some technical glitches. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mike, as well for the presentation. My takeaway is that we have different options when it comes to Hmo plans. While we have the comprehensive plans, which provides an all-inclusive set of health benefits, meron din tayong mga tinatawag na prepaid Hmo cards, where we can unbundle specific health benefit needed at a much affordable price. Again, we encourage everyone to maximize the use of the group chat for any comments or questions. But we now move on to our next speaker from Pacific Cross. From my experience, many people are not familiar with medical insurance or even confuse it with the health riders they usually get from life insurance policies. This is why it is important for all of us to listen closely to our next speaker from Pacific Cross. We have their sales manager, Ms. Kristine Matienzo, to help us understand the medical insurance plans they offer. Kristine has been with Pacific Cross for over half a decade, and she specializes in catering to high net worth clients and business owners. Her current role leads the agency sales team within Makati CBD and Pasay Industrial and Commercial District as a sales manager. Her dynamic partnership has also significantly contributed to the success of the top producing agencies nationwide of Pacific Cross. Ladies and gentlemen, let us all welcome Kristine.
All right. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for inviting me this afternoon. Napaka-jam-pack naman talaga and very educational nung portion ng mga present ni Sir Mike earlier. So first and foremost, before we proceed, we'd also like to invite you to please make sure you follow Rampver Financials with their social media platforms so that you would be up to date when it comes to financial advices and anything insurance related, especially when it comes to investments. All right. So again, my name is Kristine Matienzo. I'm from Pacific Cross, and this afternoon I would be sharing with you an overview of our plans. Okay, so first, just real quick, I just want to introduce who Pacific Cross is. So Pacific Cross has been around the insurance industry for the past 70 years already. We're a market leader offering medical, travel, and personal accident insurance. We're also the pioneer in offering coverage for senior citizens, and we had been consistently part of the top 10 non-life insurance companies in the Philippines. Formerly, we were known as Blue Cross Insurance Inc., for those of you who may know. So being around the insurance industry for the past 70 years, I would confidently say na that is a very evident testimony that Pacific Cross knows what they're doing, especially in offering or catering medical, travel, and personal accident insurance. Okay. So first, this afternoon, we wanted to get you or give you a better understanding ano ba or bakit mo ba kailangan kumuha ng insurance. Did you know that getting insurance is like building a house? Okay. Paano natin nasabi yan? Some of you may say na, meron na akong insurance. But what kind? Do you have life insurance? Do you have HMO? Do you have medical insurance? More often than not, it's inevitable that a lot of people compare different kinds of insurances. But did you know that most insurances complement each other? Getting insurance is like building a house or building a home. One insurance can serve as your roof, the other your walls. Hence, it doesn't imply that just because you have one already, okay na. In fact, lacking one may actually dictate how strong your home may hold in times of a financial crisis. So just like building a home, each type of insurance serves a different purpose. Some of you may say, meron na akong life insurance. Some of you may say, meron na akong HMO. Actually, all these complement each other. Imagine someone who gets life insurance and then he or she gets hospitalized without medical insurance or an HMO. Who will pay for the bill? In reality, what happens is before someone with life insurance passes away and they do not have medical insurance, their families end up selling their hard-earned properties, swerte kung meron, or worst case, depletes their savings or borrows money and being in debt. The claim then for life insurance just ends up as payment for these debts or yung mga utang, but nothing left behind by the person na siya yung usually nakikater or siya yung usually responsible doon sa financial responsibilities niya with the departed. How about HMO? Meron na akong HMO. Isn't that redundant? Kung kukuha pa ako ng medical insurance, HMO or simply health maintenance organization primarily is focused in maintenance of our current health. But what happens when you are no longer healthy? And what happens when you need treatment? What happens in between when you go over your HMO limit kasi kinulang and before you get critically diagnosed with a life-threatening condition? Medical insurance bridges that gap. This afternoon, we're here today so that we can introduce to you solutions that can address the shortfall of funding for treatment before diagnosis of a critical illness and treatment for grave illnesses which goes beyond what an HMO can cover. We have to keep in mind that regardless of age, gender, nationality, or even financial status, mayaman ka man or sakto lang, babae, lalaki, may anak ka or wala, none of us are actually exempted from being sick or from being hospitalized. We will all reach a point in our lives that our bodies will deteriorate and that we may need to get hospitalized either because of an accident or an illness. The only questions that remain are when and who will pay. For the latter, we have control of. It's going to be either you, your family, or an insurance company. Now you have an option to choose. A financial solution for you may not be the same for your family, your friends, or anyone else. This is why it's important that you talk to a financial advisor so that they can help recommend what fits you. This is why it's important to talk to a trusted financial advisor, just like Rampver Financials. Okay. So this afternoon, we will be giving you an overview of some of our plans that you may find handy and very affordable. So in times of uncertainty, of course, ang gusto natin, laging protected yung ating family members and especially yung ating mga hard-earned properties and investments. So with Pacific Cross, we have different kinds of insurances. We offer HMO products, just like PhilCare. At the same time, we also offer medical insurance. We also offer travel insurance, and we also offer personal accident insurance. However, we will only be introducing or giving you an overview of our medical insurance products. So to start off, we have our select plans. Our select plans are actually designed for clients who are aged 15 days old to 65 years old. And then we also have our premier plans that would be applicable for clients aged 66 years old to 100 years old. The good thing about medical insurance is that it offers a much more comprehensive medical protection that includes coverage for hospitalization, non-traditional treatment, medicine, reimbursement, COVID-19 coverage. And at the same time, it's not as limiting as a usual HMO. Pag may HMO kasi, normally, when you use the card, you're only limited to see an accredited doctor, an accredited clinic, or an accredited doctor. When it comes to medical insurance, normally, medical insurance, just like Pacific Cross, offers a very flexible coverage. You can take advantage if your plan comes with a card, the no cash out option, through our accredited network. Again, that would be through an accredited hospital, clinic, or doctor. Or kung meron ka namang preferred doctor or family doctor na hindi accredited kay Pacific Cross, no problem. You can also avail or use your coverage via reimbursement. Pacific Cross offers plans designed for any stage of life. So regardless kung bata ka pa or you're just about in the stage of thinking about your retirement or you're about to retire, there's plans that we can offer for you. Okay. So for our select plans, our plans come in with coverage of up to 1.5 million. The lowest coverage that you can get is up to 500,000 pesos. And as mentioned earlier, you also have the flexibility in terms of the medical provider of your choice. So either you can use the no cash out option or you can do reimbursement. At the same time, it also offers comprehensive inpatient and emergency coverage, worldwide emergency coverage. All of these are included at no additional cost. Lahat po ito kasama na doon sa premium or yung cost ng insurance plan mo that is yearly renewable. Okay. So for our select plans, we have two kinds. We have what we call Select Standard and Select Plus. To give you a better overview or the difference between the two, we highly encourage that you reach out to our partners from Rampver Financials so that they can discuss with you ano yung pinagkaiba ng dalawa and which one fits for you. Again, our select plans are applicable for clients aged 15 days old and 65 years old. All right? So what if you're above 65 years old na? Di ba usually ang HMO hanggang 65 years old lang? To answer that question, in general, most HMOs only cover up to 65 years old. But some HMOs actually cover up to 70. So that depends on the HMO provider and it also depends on the plan that you're on. With Pacific Cross, we also offer individual plans for clients that are beyond what an HMO can cover. Particularly, our Peso Premier plans cater to senior citizens aged 66 years old to 100 years old. So just like our select plan, ang pinakamababa po nating coverage na pwedeng makuha kay Premier plan ay 500,000 pesos and the highest that you can get covered for is 1.5 million pesos. So similarly with select, you also have the option to exercise your freedom of choice when it comes to your medical provider, whether hospital, clinic, or doctor. It also comes in with worldwide emergency coverage And it also comes in with comprehensive inpatient. When we say inpatient, that pertains to hospitalization po and emergency coverage. So for our premier plans, again, the highest coverage that you can get is up to 1.5 million per year. This is also yearly renewable, okay? And it's focused on hospitalization. Okay? Some of you may think na, paano yung check-up, hindi siya covered? When you talk to a financial advisor, again, this is the importance of consulting one. They can actually customize or cater or offer you options that would work for you. The very important thing is, kailangan po munang ma-identify ano ba yung kailangan mo. At the same time, talking to a financial advisor can actually help you realize na, kailangan ko pala ng ganito or ng ganyan. Alright? So other than our select and our premier plans, we have recently launched a very comprehensive option brought to you by the Pacific Cross family, our latest addition to our wide range of medical insurance plans. We have what we call Flexi Shield. Okay. So for those of you who have an existing HMO, example, company provided, pero 50,000 pesos lang or 70,000 pesos lang, which is the usual, right? Paano na kung na-hospital ka at yung 50,000 pesos na coverage mo ay hindi sufficient? That would mean anything that goes beyond 50,000 pesos will have to be shouldered by the patient or yung family ni patient. Hassle, right? Ngayon, kung yan ay company provided, there's basically no choice or very limited choice in getting a higher coverage. What you can do instead is get a second layer plan. Okay, ano bang ibig sabihin nun? So first and foremost, again, for our Flexi Shield plans, this is applicable for 15 days old to 70 years old. Okay, so when we say a second layer plan or a top-up insurance plan, this means na after maubos ng iyong HMO coverage, this gives you the guarantee or the peace of mind that you yourself do not have to sell out yung mag-go over or yung excess in terms of hospitalization or hospital bill kung naubos na si HMO coverage mo. Okay. So a second layer plan is actually a supplementary coverage so that at least meron kang peace of mind na merong sasalunong expenses the moment that your HMO gets depleted or exhausted. The good thing about second layer plans is it's very affordable. It's much more cost-effective. Mas mura po siya. And for our Flexi Shield plan, you can actually get covered up to 2 million pesos on top of your existing HMO. Wala rin pong discrimination whether yung iyong first layer HMO is paid by you or if it's a company-provided coverage. It's very affordable because in terms of risk, mas mababa po siya compared to a medical insurance or an HMO na sila agad yung una mong gagamitin. And at the same time, our Flexi Shield plans also guarantees PEC coverage or pre-existing condition coverage provided na si HMO mo covered ka din for the first layer. Also, on top of that, as some or most of you may know, Pacific Cross has been actively covering COVID-19 since the start of the pandemic. Wala pong tigil yan. And this new plan that we've recently launched in the market, in fact, offers coverage for COVID-19, right? So if you have any questions po when it comes to medical insurance or with Pacific Cross plans, again, please try to get in touch with Rampver Financials Inc. You can save the link that you see on the screen right now, or feel free to send a message to your business development officer who invited you with this very helpful webinar so that they can reach out to you and set an appointment or a meeting to tell you more about PhilCare's products and Pacific Cross products. That would be all. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you as well, Kristine, for that clear presentation about your medical insurance products. So for me, my takeaway is that while it's possible to choose between an HMO or medical insurance, I think most of us don't know that we can actually complement these products together to maximize inpatient limits during hospitalization. With this, we are now done with the product presentations from our healthcare providers. We do hope that everyone learned a lot today. Thank you very much to our partners for generously sharing all of these healthcare options that we can all consider. Now, to help you put everything into proper perspective and get started in creating your own ideal healthcare portfolio, we will have Jason again to demonstrate as to how these different products can complement together in order to create a comprehensive set of health benefits and coverage. Okay, Jason, you may now start sharing your screen again.
Hi everyone. I hope you were able to enlighten you during those presentation coming from our partners. So again, as mentioned, I will be discussing things now on how you can apply and then show you some examples. But let me highlight again the difference of HMO and medical insurance. In a nutshell, your HMO is your best friend if you have needs for outpatient like checkups, laboratory, consultation, you have emergencies, a simple confinement, that will do no for your HMO. However, pag dumating na sa matinding gastusan, medical insurance na talaga ang iyong hahanapin no. Because at some point, as mentioned earlier, your HMOs will not there would be high chance no that it would not be enough. Here in the Philippines, the average HMO coverage hovers around 100 to 150,000 pesos. Alam naman natin that would not be enough sa medyo matagal na confinement o medyo matinding pagkakasakit. So again, these two would really complement one another. But before I give you the sample application and portfolio, no, just like to highlight these few things, no, coming from our two providers. So number one, for PhilCare, I just like to highlight, no, of course, these are the reasons as well why we are recommending these providers or these products to you. Number one, for PhilCare, their prepaid card, no, they provide higher limits compared to the other prepaid emergency cards in the market. At the same time, one of their emergency cards, as mentioned by Mike earlier, you can use it multiple times. Unlike with other prepaid cards kasi, once you use it one time, okay, wala na siya. You'll have to buy again. Siyempre, kung medyo, alam naman natin, emergency nga, medyo minalas-malas ka, no? May emergency ka today, tapos after 2 months na emergency ka ulit and you were not able to buy another coverage, then again, it would result to an out-of-pocket expense. So that's one of the things that you can look, no, or we would like to highlight under the prepaid card of PhilCare. On the other hand, for their comprehensive HMO, they are actually one of the very few providers in the market that offers annual benefit limit. Okay, ano ba yung kaibahan niyan sa iba? Normally, when you have an HMO or whenever you purchase an HMO coming from the other providers, they normally offer the maximum benefit limit per illness per year. So, ibig pong sabihin, if you have a 100,000 peso limit per illness per year, so you have 100,000 for dengue, you have 100,000 for typhoid fever, you have 100,000 for COVID, for example. So, the difference with annual benefit limit is, ang usapan, you have 100,000, for example, 100,000 for the entire year. Okay, so whatever illnesses that you will contract within a given year, doon mo siya ibabawas. Doon sa parang annual benefit limit or aggregate benefit limit. So it's a major difference compared to the other providers because your premium becomes lower if it's an ABL instead of an MBL. So again, please take note on that. Another thing is PhilCare provides higher limit compared to other providers. Okay, one of the major brands out there, they would provide, so for example, semi-private. Semi-private, ang coverage nila is around 60,000, 50,000, or 70,000. So it's quite low. However, for PhilCare, what they did is, for semi-private, at the very least, your coverage is already 150,000. So that is quite substantial. And the premiums again are quite affordable. I'd like to highlight that, no, kasi it becomes a strategy also. Alam ko, if you want to be confined, normally you want to go to a private room. Wala namang problema doon. However, do you know that the price of biogesic differs, no, depending on your room and board. So for example, the biogesic in ward 2 pesos lang. Pagdating mo ng semi-private, nagiging 4 pesos. Pagdating mo ng private, it becomes 8 pesos. That's the difference. Also with the PF, like professional fees of the doctors and the surgeons, it would depend on the room and board that you have. So if you have semi-private, no, your room is semi-private and then you get confined, the objective now is to maximize the entire 150,000. Okay, that is very important kasi sabi nga nila, aanihin mo na naka-private ka kung mauubos agad. So that's the major thing about getting a strategy, no, of PhilCare. So even if it's semi-private, it gives you more room in terms of benefits. So I'd like to highlight that for PhilCare. Now for Pacific Cross, on the other hand, okay, they are the only provider in the country right now that we know that provides inpatient benefits to senior citizens. Normally for HMO, yes, they still provide. However, that's ang assumption is the senior citizen was a former member already before he or she turned 60. Okay? And renewable lang siya until age 65. Kung siniswerte ka naman, yung anak mo, for example, they have a card in the office, even if you're 61 and up, you may still enroll, no? But that's under a corporate setup. But again, mostly here in the Philippines, yung mga kamag-anakan natin, mga magulang natin, most of the time, they don't have medical coverage. So, lately, syempre, people are becoming more educated. Personally, when I knew about this, my dad was already 66 or 65. So basically, we don't have an HMO available for him. So what I did is to get a Pacific Cross instead. So that is very important. Now, another thing is the select products, like what Kit mentioned, the select products can act as a standalone product. So if you think, kahit sa mga kamag-anakan, if you think you will not be able to afford the full HMO coverage, but you want to protect yourself from a higher inpatient expenses or confinement in terms of expenses, the medical insurance product of Pacific Cross can act as a standalone product. It means, for example, if it's checkup lang naman, laboratory, okay, you would spend it personally, out of pocket ka. Pero pag na-confine, gagamitin ko ang Pacific Cross. Did you know, especially for parents, as low as 8,000 pesos annually, you can provide at least 500,000 peso coverage for your kids. That's how affordable it is, no, to get a medical insurance coverage. Even for others, no, hindi kailangan sa mga bata lang. Even for people who would really like to get a coverage, you can avail a product under Pacific Cross, no. Now, next is the Flexi Shield. This is really new, guys. And we're really happy that the industry is evolving. You know, a few years back, we were already doing this portfolio, healthcare portfolio recommendation to our clients. And what we do is recommend an HMO product and a standalone medical insurance product. Pero may mga gaps yun. Kasi at the same time, pinipilit talaga namin i-marry yung dalawang product. However, for Flexi Shield, okay, the main objective of Flexi Shield is to really become a second layer coverage on top of your HMO. So that being said, it becomes really, really affordable. That's number one. And second, in terms of coverage, it's really substantial. Alam niyo yun, for a very minimal premium, I think if I'm not mistaken, if you have a 150,000 HMO coverage, tapos you want to avail of the Flexi Shield, for my age, it's around additional 9,000 pesos lang po, no? For me to avail a second layer coverage, that is actually a steal already. So we need to take advantage. It's something that needs to be taken advantage of para mas may peace of mind ka. So yeah, I hope I was able to provide some insights on that aspect. So now let me proceed with the application and samples. So as mentioned, guys, so for example, a family encountered a dengue fever. May nagkasakit, one of the family members. Alam niyo naman, tag-ulan na, medyo dengue season. So assuming the hospital and then the inpatient cost is around 200,000, which is hindi malabong mangyari. So again, kung wala kang HMO or medical insurance, out of pocket, you will have to pay the 200,000 peso bill. However, if you have a HMO, for example, 100,000, okay, at least yung shortfall mo, 100,000 na lang. Kahit pa paano, malaki-laki pa rin. Pero instead na 100% ikaw magbabayad, kalahati na lang. So yan po yung kagandahan ng meron kang HMO. However, for sabihin natin mga sophisticated illnesses, sabihin natin mga bypass graft. Okay. Assuming covered lahat ito. Okay. So right now sa heart center, the package is around 784 as per their website. So if this is your illness, you don't have any money, medyo kakabahan ka. To be honest, mamimili ka kung pipiliin mo bang mabuhay or tama na. I mean, it's a parang it's a situation for other people. Like they cannot pay, so they don't have an option to get better, no? So again, if you have an HMO, assuming 150,000, so ang babayaran na lang is mga sa 220 or 230,000 na lang. 630 na lang ang kulang, no, in terms of bill. So syempre, if you only have HMO, still it's a long shot pa rin. Medyo malaki-laki pa rin damages yan. However, for this example, okay, assuming you have medical insurance as a second layer, okay, assuming meron ka 150,000, you avail the Flexi Shield, so isipin mo na lang, you have an additional 2 million protection. Feeling ko kahit bukas na yung operation mo, magpapa-opera ka kagad because you have that confidence. Let me share with you guys, if people would want to get themselves checked, people would really want to be healthy. However, pag wala kang pambayad, medyo nakakatakot alamin kung ano yung magiging sakit mo. Because ang iisipin mo unang-una is actually yung gastos, di ba? So, again, very different talaga yan. Personally na lang po, no, sa family namin. Before, when my dad has his own HMO, maya't maya yan. He goes to the hospital, he goes to the clinic, papacheck up, walang problema. However, nung nawala, alam niyo, medyo nagkakaroon siya ng feeling na parang, ay, ang mahal, sayang magpa-check up. Parang, okay lang naman siguro ako. So, medyo mayroon may mga ganong klaseng experiences. That's why we want to give ourselves and our family parang more of confidence, di ba? That it's okay to have yourself checked because you're covered. So now, same example, the difference, if you have a standalone medical insurance, you still have a shortfall. However, if you have a critical illness coverage, then that can help you address everything. No? But nonetheless, using two products right now, before, kulang yan, okay? But now, using the Flexi Shield, you'll be able to address so many things already. Okay? Now, in terms of sample portfolio, again, ikot lang po tayo sa HMO and medical insurance. Just an example, the lowest variant that PhilCare has would be the Healthcare 360 semi-private. Again, 100,000, still a bigger limit compared to the other products in the market. Premium cost, it's around 8,000 pesos. Not really bad. Okay. And if you want to add an additional layer, the Pacific Cross Select is a standalone product. You'll have to pay an additional 8,500. So our total coverage is 600,000, but the premium cost is just 16,000. Some would have realization na, ay, pwede pala itong mga to. Yes, it is possible po. And again, as mentioned, hindi kailangan mahal. Ang importante lang, guys, during the time na kailangan mong mag-avail, no, may magagamit ka. Hindi kailangan mag-aarabo yung gamit mo or yung coverage mo. Ang importante, may magagamit ka. Okay. Some people would say, parang kulang yata yan, pero out of budget na ako. You know what, guys? Even if this is the only coverage that you can afford, that's okay. As long as you have a coverage. Why? Because it's still beneficial, no, na may kasangga ka. Like you have a different provider that can address your needs, hindi man 100%, but at the very least, hindi ikaw yung buong magpapaluwal, no, or magbabayad ng mga pangangailangan mo. So next example, age 30. So same pa rin. Minatch natin yung room and board ngayon, no, ng Health 360 semi-private. Okay. And then now for Pacific Cross Select Standard, semi-private also. So instead na kanina 600, now the total coverage is 900,000, but the premium cost, it's just 23,000 pesos. So it's very affordable pa rin. Sa iba kasi, if you will avail an HMO coverage, no, baseline 25,000, 200,000 lang yung coverage mo. But for this 23,800, yung coverage mo can go as high as 900,000. Ayan, for other naman, using a health pro, kasi before the minimum coverage is 150,000, no, para ma-avail mo yung kailangan 150,000 yung HMO coverage mo before you can avail Flexi Shield. But now they lowered it to 50,000, which we can share with you after this session, no. So here, as you can see, meron akong 150,000 na HMO, but I availed of the Flexi Shield. So my total coverage right now is 2.1 million. But the premium cost, it's just 26,000. Again, if you compare that to other HMO in the market, yung 200,000 peso coverage mo, kulang yung 25,000. Or sabihin natin nasa 25,000 yung premium agad. So again, it's a times 10 difference in terms of coverage. So this one, okay, matrabaho lang kasi you will apply for PhilCare and then you'll apply for Pacific Cross, but matrabaho lang ng konti, pero it provides so much coverage, no, at a very minimal cost. So next, so this one naman, an example, wala kang pambayad ng full HMO, pero gusto mo lang sabihin na natin emergency card, okay, coming from PhilCare. Tapos the rest, pag medyo napatagal yung hospitalization, you will be using Pacific Cross. It is possible. Again, for age 30, male, okay, total coverage, no, assuming po ito, no, na ER muna, na emergency, papuntang confinement. Ang total coverage na pwede niyang magamit is 560,000 pesos. Again, guys, I would like to repeat, syempre, hindi lahat ng bagay pwedeng ma-cover. Okay, let's face it. Pero again, ang highlight is hindi ikaw yung 100% magbabayad. Okay. Alright. Last sample would be for senior citizens. No? Again, PhilCare is the only provider right now that is offering such coverage. So assuming you availed of the Pacific Cross Premier for age 66 male, that's around 31,000 pesos, no, for 500,000 peso coverage. Again, medyo expensive na po. Alam naman natin, pag mas tumatanda ka, mas kailangan mo yung coverage. But still, you have a coverage plan. That's the most important thing. Now, since Pacific Cross Premier only caters to the inpatient need, then the HMO prepaid card, which provides only consultation and laboratory, really complements, no, the product of Pacific Cross. So kunya papa-check up ka, tapos papalab ka, use the Vida Care. Tapos kung confinement naman, of course, magagamit mo yung Pacific Cross. Now, before I end my presentation, I'd like to highlight again what Mike said earlier about pre-existing condition. Alam naman natin, especially sa case namin when my dad applied for the coverage from Pacific Cross, may pre-existing condition na po siya. So, ibig sabihin, hindi mako-cover yung condition na yun, or kung kailangan ma-cover, you'll have to pay extra. What we did is we did not take the additional premium to get the very minimal coverage, no. Mainly because the perspective became like this, no. We will self-insure, we will save up for the pre-existing condition. So, meron pa, kumbaga sa may alkansya ka, ito pang pre-existing condition lang to, ha. Okay, pag ginamit, ito. However, for other illnesses that are still covered, no, outside the exclusion, then at least we can use the medical insurance coverage. So for example, again, the top two diseases, as mentioned earlier, is number one, yung mga, syempre, non-communicable, kasama na yung hypertension doon. Pero there's really a high chance na as simple as pneumonia, pwede ma-confine ang matanda. As simple as accident, pwede ma-confine ang matanda. At least I know if that would be the occurrence, I can use my coverage po. So I'd like to highlight that lang, just to remind everyone na hindi sayang yung babayaran. All right, so with that, I would like to end my presentation. Thank you so much again, and I hope this session was really worthwhile, no, for our audiences. So thank you so much again, and have a good day.
So, this is a major factor. At ito po, ang hatid nito, syempre, higher